New for 2023 is the Springfield Echelon. This striker-fired polymer frame pistol features Springfield's new variable interface system for mounting multiple optic footprints and the serialized cog fire control for inserting into multiple frames. Find out more at springfield-armory.com.
Hey there, Tundra Nation. Have you ever been to the gun range and thought, well, let this person in? They irritate you more than a San Francisco politician thinking AR stands for assault rifle. Well, folks, today we're roasting them all, so sit back, grab your burn cream, and brace yourself for the absolute worst people you meet at the gun range. Our first range day nemesis is the universal destroyer of a good time, the Unsolicited Advice Guy. He's a walking masterclass in misplaced confidence with impeccable timing for interruptions. This man murders fun like a dog adoption event co-hosted by PETA and the ATF.
God help us all.
Now, Unsolicited Advice Guy is more eager to share advice than to actually go shooting. He simply walks from lane to lane to lane, standing behind shooters, yelling random bits of gun lore at you, shouting, "Your grip is too high," or "You need a more athletic stance." He specifically stops and tells you that your rifle is overgassed. It's not. Only after he moves along do you realize his subconscious was warning you that his bubble guts just let go, and he was crop dusting the entire range like the beginning of planting season in Kansas. He is the human embodiment of pop-up ads, annoying, persistent, and unfortunately, the world does not come with a human ad blocker yet. All right, here's the situation. You've taken your date to the range for her first time shooting, and she is loving it. But her friend Velma, well, she's not a fan and can't seem to get over how loud guns are. Even equipped with enough hearing protection to sit next to an F-16 on takeoff, Velma's the only person you'll find at the gun range who seems perpetually surprised by gunfire. When firing commences, Velma acts like a Twitch streamer somebody just paid 1,000 bits to Jumpscare. Also, hey, if spending bits on Twitch to almost cause somebody a heart attack seems fun to you, you can come join me for spooky games over at Twitch on Tundra Gaming Live, where I play games and talk guns each and every Sunday. I think that was supposed to be flipped around on Twitch at Tundra Gaming Live, but hey, we'll go with it. Thanks for following, guys. Cheers. Every single time Velma hears a shot, she reacts like she's just seen the ghost of Nancy Pelosi. But trust me, that's not a ghost. Nancy just looks like that. Speaking of spooky season, you'd think after the first few shots they'd get the hint. But no, they are the gift that keeps on giving. Endless entertainment for the rest of us. So to the jump scare victim, thanks for the laughs. As you acclimate to Velma's occasional outburst, a mysterious figure brushes past you, wearing black jeans, a black t-shirt under a black leather coat, and mirrored sunglasses with mirrors on the inside. He makes his way to the lane furthest away from everybody because he's trying to project that too cool for school vibe, but the vibe everybody's actually getting is Wesley Snipes in Bad Blade cosplay. After watching them shoot, it's clear the only thing those glasses are doing is shielding their eyes from the blinding reality of their poor marksmanship. Ever notice how they seem to be always in slow motion? It's like they're waiting for some dramatic background music to kick in. We get it, you've got layers. An onion has layers too. Guess which caused your mom more tears? But I am crying from laughter after watching you try to keep your shots in the A zone at 7 yards. Your grouping looks like you took pistol lessons from somebody using a shake weight while driving on a backcountry dirt road in Denton County, Texas. While the lone wolf is a bit of a distraction, at least he keeps to himself. I mean, if only the same thing could be said for the range's resident social butterfly. They roll in, attempting to lay down a verbal barrage that smothers any attempt to get a shot off or word in edgewise. Oh, and their favorite topic? You guessed it, it's themselves. They've got an anecdote for every time they went shooting and a yarn for every yard on the range. So while you're aiming for that bullseye, the social butterfly is aiming for a seat next to Whoopi on The View. Welcome to the range. Now let me spill all my feelings about the latest thing I read on Facebook while you try to enjoy yourself. Have you ever tried to focus with insects buzzing in your ear? That's the social butterfly, only louder and more annoying. Now, I've been advised by the Tundra Tactical legal team that you can't just smack them like a mosquito, so I think I need better lawyers.
That's a dang it.
While the social butterfly buzzes in your ear, you can't help but notice the person who's made 6 trips back and forth to their truck, each time returning with a massive amount of gear in hard cases. Oh boy, oh great, it's the I can't decide what to bring, so I'll just bring everything guy. Bring Everything Guy is a roving gun store on range days. He'll spend 4 hours loading up every single gun and gadget that he has for a 1-hour range trip. While Bring Everything Guy seems to have it all, he is the living embodiment of analysis paralysis. It's admirable, really, how to turn a simple day at the range into a full-blown expedition, all because he's unsure as to what is the right thing to shoot that day. He brings everything so he can't forget anything. Of course, by the time he loads and unloads all his gear, he'll have spent less than an hour actually shooting. But here's the kicker. Bring Everything Guy is great to have on trips, and he always knows how to get his luggage into the overhead compartment. Too bad they spend more time rummaging in their bag than actually shooting, am I right?
Ouch, baby. Very ouch.
One of the worst people to meet at the gun range knows exactly what they're bringing, and before the day is done, you will too. The show-off struts in as if he's John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever wearing bell-bottoms. He's showing off the flashiest, latest firearms like Steve Jobs presenting the first iPhone. Here's Open Cancer goes 2 for 2.
What?
Oh, I see you have a Dan Wesson Elite Series Havoc in 9mm. Cool. Too bad you've got the aim of a one-eyed stormtrooper. Nobody said the world was fair, but did it have to be this cruel? I mean, this guy shows you pictures of his amazing gun collection, and if you look really closely, you can see the fine layer of dust that sets over all those beautiful, unused guns. Big sad, folks. Big sad. Now, giving the show-off a custom firearm is about as useful as a marital aid made of Betty Crocker frosting. It may be fun for a minute, but it's bound to end in a messy disaster and a change of sheets. Now, when the show-off hits the firing line, every single shot is a performance. Dramatic pose? Check. Over-the-top recoil? Check. Actually hitting the target? Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right?
Wrong.
Now, our next range ruiner is the main character in his own story, and we're just humble NPCs. Wearing a safety orange golf shirt covered in 10 pounds of various IDPA, USPSA, ISSF, and CMP patches layered on top of each other, like the bumper sticker collection of a vegan Subaru owner, you are about to meet the hyper competitor. The hyper competitor is always keeping a score even when nobody else is playing. Their knowledge of various shooting competition rules means they can take a fun day at the range and turn it into an experience only equaled by trying to register a car from out of state at the DMV. They claim that they're an alpha and they have to keep their edge sharp, which is how they justify being such an insufferable Richard to everybody at the range. You keep that edge sharp, pal, but your shot placement is as dull as the stories you tell about dominating local competitions.
Nobody likes you.
Social media, universally recognized as an absolute positive for our human brains. All right, that was just in case the AI overlords take over. But in a living testament to the fact that not everybody's ready to take the training wheels off their brainstem, we have the I saw this on YouTube guy. That was a good line. They've binged a few gun influencers and suddenly they're the spiritual baby of Demolition Matt and Kentucky Ballistics, except of course, those guys can shoot, actually. Every time they're seen at the range, it's like a live reenactment of YouTube's greatest misses. They've got the stance of an understrength flamingo and the flinch that resembles an epileptic episode. They somehow miss targets inside of 10 yards and still post unironic reviews of firearms. Their skills may be small, but their dreams are bold. It's just not about shooting. It's a performance, folks. Dramatic pauses, whispered commentary, and the inevitable, this looked easier online. Of course it did, genius. That's called editing. But hey, champ, keep shooting for the stars or the ceiling, or the wall, or actually anywhere but the target. A relic from a bygone era clings to his vintage guns like they're the last VHS tapes on Earth. Old school shooter guy doesn't understand why a gun range would have Wi-Fi, or as he pronounces it, wifey. On the range, he's quick to lecture you on the golden age of firearms, conveniently forgetting that back in his day, the Earth was still cooling. Every time he pulls out his nickel-plated revolver, it's like he's unveiling a museum exhibit. Behold the gun that won the West, or more accurately, behold the replica of the gun that won the West, because he sold off the real one to pay for that timeshare in Boca. We're talking about somebody that has permanent hip dysplasia from all of the thrusting his hips forward at cowboy action shooting competitions. While the world moves forward, the old school shooter is always stuck in a time warp, reminiscing about the good old days. He doesn't understand all these newfangled plastic guns and why kids are concealed carrying with their barrels pointed right at their hoo-ha. There's a place on the gun range, believe it or not, where vanity meets velocity, and you've now met the Selfie Sniper. While most come to the range to improve their accuracy, they're out there to improve their follow count with carefully edited pictures and videos that look like all the others that got 0 reacts. For them, the gun range is just another backdrop, a place to flex and show off to their online fans. When you ask them about their shooting stances, they show you more poses than Derek Zoolander and are particularly proud of nailing blue steel. When they talk about shooting their guns, it just means they're trying to get the lighting just right and pick an Instagram filter that pops. When they say, "Did you see that shot?" they're not talking about the one down range, but the one they just uploaded, complete with hashtags like Pew Pew Glam, I Am the Sheepdog, and Tactical Life. The only thing you can count on for them to hit accurately is the share and subscribe button, just like you should, folks.